Have you ever stood next to someone, a friend, a sibling, a coworker, and noticed their skin just looks completely different from yours? Maybe theirs seems to stay clear without much effort. Maybe yours reacts to things theirs never would. And somewhere in that moment, a thought creeps in. What am I doing wrong? Here's the thing. You're probably not doing anything wrong at all. Skin varies from person to person for reasons that go far deeper than skincare routines or willpower. By the end of this video, you're going to understand the real factors behind why no two people's skin behaves exactly alike and why that comparison you've been making might not be a fair one to begin with. Welcome back to Skin Health Authority, where we break down skin science in a way that's calm, clear, and grounded in evidence, not comparison and not guilt. Today we're tackling something that affects literally everyone: individual skin variation. We're going to look at the major categories that influence why your skin is your skin: genetics, hormones, environment, and lifestyle, and how these factors interact in ways that make every person's skin a slightly different story. By the end, you'll have a framework for understanding your own skin that has nothing to do with comparing it to anyone else's. Before a single skincare product ever touches your face, your skin already has a set of inherited characteristics. Genetics plays a significant role in things like how much oil your skin naturally produces, how thick or thin your skin is, how much melanin it produces, and even how sensitive it tends to be to irritants. This is part of why skin type often runs in families. If your parents tended toward oilier or drier skin, there's a reasonable chance you inherited some of that tendency too. Researchers generally describe this as a baseline, a starting point that other factors then interact with, rather than a fixed, unchangeable destiny. Hormones have a well-documented influence on skin behavior, and they shift constantly throughout life, during puberty, monthly cycles, pregnancy, and again with age. Hormonal changes can influence oil gland activity, which is part of why skin can feel oilier during certain life stages and drier during others. This is also part of why two people at different ages or different points in their hormonal cycles can have noticeably different skin even if their skincare habits are nearly identical. Skin isn't a fixed photograph. It's more like a live feed responding to what's happening inside the body. Climate and environment play a major role too. Someone living in a humid coastal city and someone living in a dry, high-altitude region are going to experience their skin very differently, even with similar genetics. Humidity levels, sun exposure, air pollution, and even hard versus soft water can all influence how skin looks and feels day to day. This is one of the more underappreciated factors, because it's easy to assume differences are about products or effort, when in reality, two people simply living in different environments will often have visibly different skin as a result. Then there's lifestyle, sleep, stress levels, diet, hydration, and habits like smoking or sun exposure over time. None of these single-handedly determine what your skin looks like, but many people experience noticeable changes in their skin's appearance and behavior tied to shifts in these areas. Chronic stress and poor sleep, for example, are generally associated with changes in how skin looks and how it responds to irritation. Here's the important part. None of these factors work in isolation. Genetics sets a baseline. Hormones shift that baseline over time. Environment and lifestyle then layer additional influence on top of both. That's 4 overlapping systems, each operating differently in every single person, which is exactly why expecting your skin to match someone else's was never really a fair comparison to begin with. It's an easy assumption to make, especially online, where you're seeing curated snapshots without any context about someone's genetics, environment, or life stage. In reality, someone's skin appearance is the product of dozens of variables you can't see, many of which have nothing to do with effort or products at all. Skincare can genuinely support skin health, but it's working within the boundaries genetics and biology have already set. Two people can follow very similar routines and land in different places because they started from different baselines. This isn't a reason to give up on skincare. It's a reason to stop measuring your skin against someone else's. Variation itself is normal and expected.
Oily, dry, combination, sensitive.
None of these are inherently worse than another. They're just different expressions of the same underlying biological systems, shaped by different combinations of genetics, hormones, environment, and lifestyle. So, how should this actually change the way you think about your own skin? First, when you notice a difference between your skin and someone else's, it's worth remembering that you're likely comparing different genetics, different hormonal stages, different climates, and different lifestyles all at once, not a simple test you either pass or fail. Second, this is a good reason to build a skincare approach based on your own skin's actual behavior, rather than trying to replicate someone else's routine exactly and expecting identical results. Third, understanding these categories genetics, hormones, environment, lifestyle gives you a much more useful lens for noticing real patterns in your own skin, like whether changes tend to line up with seasons, stress levels, or life stages, instead of assuming every change is random or self inflicted. Your skin isn't a report card, it's the result of an inherited blueprint, an internal hormonal environment, the physical world around you, and the way you're living day to day, all overlapping in a combination that's genuinely unique to you. Understanding that doesn't mean skincare doesn't matter. It means your skin was never meant to look exactly like anyone else's in the first place. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing to Skin Health Authority for more evidence based skin education, explained clearly and without the comparison.